Yeah.
What are those?
High rise.
Christine wants me to get her new ones. She has. Why are they that big?
Because the
Tall,
90s are
big.
coming back.
Because what?
It's
Nineties
coming
are
back.
In all realms.
But those were ordered early mid-October, and they just got here yesterday.
Where did you order from? Directly UGG?
How's it going?
No.
Because I should look at Macy's because I saw that in ad. But
I like this.
Amazon to get
I like right here.
eBay and
Because I can see it, but I was like, you know what? Then I was like,
Oh yeah, no. The other, so here's what
I don't want to see the
yesterday,
front.
and I will say,
that is kind of brutal.
you'll be like church, just sit in the
It actually
back.
kind of in a weird way looks
You're
good.
like church, sit in the back.
Yeah, it's cold though.
I know where they're from, but that's so many people in front of me. It's hard. Everyone should see like this.
my sister, so
How's everything going? Kids good?
Yep. No listen.
and I thought these are really cute. I think these are but they're
So wait,
super
this is easy.
Yeah. So my mom
Please do not tell me that because I'm like,
Wait until they're
I
teenagers.
think those are obviously big now. You can get such good dupes on them.
So I did the, is it Koala by UGG last year for Brianna, and she's like, they're not brand.
Morning, how are you?
They come
Your
back
thing was
great.
perfect yesterday.
They're up.
That you sent me. By your broker.
that was good?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
It was.
Good, I'll be writing another one soon, so. Yeah.
You gotta be ready for it.
You got it.
Why do they have to
Anyway,
be so expensive?
I basically like told myself I sat over in tables
And I did that with all my children.
took their list, looked at everything that was out here, and then added it all up. Yeah, it's fun to be like yesterday it was warm stuff because they have no concept of glue.
Sometimes I do think this UGG short for ugly.
There are some that are rough.
When you're vitamin D and
Up two-step. We've gone from lock, drop, and roll to two-step. What's up, Tan Man?
Gotta do it. Like unless it's cold as time of year, and and then my stepmother has like these clothes.
I go silent.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it TikTok.
Yeah, do it. Do it. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that too.
Her mom, I said, oh, does she have this little stuff?
It's literally a website.
I just like stuck out a schooling, but
Everything she would like.
oh, really?
And you know, you need to make an account.
that's actually
So I just went and I was like,
I almost would rather have that though. Than looking at my voice going, can you please tell me something? Everything I can give you mine for me, not for my kids.
No, I moved now.
You'll never know what it's like to see this catalog and go through the catalog and actually circle what you want.
I tried to come back early with that. It's like the 225.
It was like I was go into the car. Sears was the best. So my wife's dad was actually, he worked for Sears. His apartment was like the section he was over. Somebody like, they moved around. And so she was like, you don't understand.
You're so sorry. Your legs hurt.
My dad was like sing all the time, and they would all show up. She was in the studio. So isn't it funny when you see the old videos of what it was like in Black Friday in the stores and everything like that? Yeah, exactly what I'm doing.
Like the basement patterns are popping up. All your shopping. We found a place that was already open. Yeah, okay. They went back to Vine Club. They went back to being close on like Friday. That's when they went. They were taken away from it.
I mean, that's what it's in the
I was there from 5 to 45, and I wanted to stay longer. I worked in a mall from when I was 14, started at Chick-fil-A. 1990. Quit. Where did you work? So do you remember downstairs, the place outside? I worked at we were downstairs when she was but I was starting with that Chick-fil-A. And then I got hired away about that. And then I remember the restaurant. They would service. I've always been good
Who was at the holiday party on Friday night?
Nice.
Raise your hands, okay, buddy. Give me what you thought. Tell me what you thought about the party. I'll start with you, Russell. What do you think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was festive, fun, good sweaters.
Who else? Who else is there?
Every single picture looked amazing because of the background, like there wasn't a background.
Okay, all right. I now know what a pop-up party is. It was called a pop-up party.
That's the town. Pop up.
Yeah.
It was just a great party. I mean, everybody was there, enjoyed being there, and our amazing staff did it. Can we give them a hand? All I do is walk in and have my 2 glasses of wine and then we work on it. Any other good news you want to share right now? Anybody else? Good news you want to share? Good news, good news, good news, good news, good news. Yes, ma'am.
Well, yesterday Angela did the vision board get together. Some of us called it a party. But anyway, that was really good and just kind of added to my Miracle Morning stuff that you're supposed to do, visualize. So it was a great class.
Good vision is amazing, isn't it? It's, I tell people that until you stand in front of some wonderful monument and see what it's like live, it's hard to explain what it looks like. So career visioning is great. There's so many good classes I wish we could tell you more about it. Anybody else? Anybody else have a little share? Let's move on. Agent Caravan, we can turn this down so we can see it. Agent Caravan, guys, they need your help here. It is at 380 Clubwood Court, Marietta. Save the date, Tuesday, December the 12th. Hey, we're going to do Meet the Builder. Luxury introductions at 2.1 million. Please put on your calendar. It's coming up on the 12th, which I'm assuming is that next week?
Yes.
Next week is 12. Cool. Partners, Thomas and Brown. I prefer your wording for.
Your favorite closing attorney, I love that. Good morning, everyone. I'm Carrie with Thomas and Brown. We haven't had a chance to meet yet. We have our seat class coming up next Thursday. It is the 2024 contract changes. So if you have not RSVP'd yet. Actually, you probably haven't, because I was gonna send out the email, tomorrow. So be sure to do that. It'll be in this room, as you guys know, that one does get packed out. So Cheryl is on the committee that made a lot of the changes, so she'll be teaching, she's a great instructor if you have not worked with her before. And I know she gave me some of the changes, there's some changes to the brokerage agreement, the earnest money section on the contract. There were some other big ones, that she mentioned that we will be going over details so that you guys are ready. We are gonna do it, I believe, again in January as well, but I recommend coming to December one if possible, because, if you get 3 weeks into January, then you've already been writing contracts on the new one, so that's gonna look important. So we look forward to seeing everyone there. And, I believe that is it for us today, so thank you all so much.
Thank you for being a great partner. Hey, just slide.
Come on, Wade.
Well, yeah, so Taryn, anything you, Paige, are you gonna talk about this?
Oh, this is next Tuesday, so this is a save the date next Tuesday. And this is an agent caravan at a home that is still under construction in Indian Hills. But the thing that is so cool about this caravan that I would ask that y'all would come to is the builder is gonna be present. And you'll have an opportunity to ask the builder questions and see what all the different things are done by the different builders throughout Indian Hills. And if you're a new agent, this is an awesome way to get to preview multi-million-dollar home. So hope to see you all there Tuesday from 11:30 to 1:30, and we will serve lunch. Thanks.
All right, come on up.
Ah, surprise!
Don't touch my light. Okay, sorry.
Good morning, buenos dias.
Morning, everybody.
How's everybody doing? Good? Buenos dias.
Feliz cumpleaños, Kyle.
What?
Said feliz cumpleaños.
Oh,
Feliz cumpleaños, feliz Navidad. No,
That's.
Hey, have you heard about the rates lately?
Yeah.
What have you heard? Wow. I cannot confirm or deny that. Okay, that's what I was asking about or something like that. But this market is so awesome, still out there, still people buying. But we want to give you some tools, okay, that you can work with your clients. You're gonna see right there 2 flyers. That one is the lock and drop. Okay, because the rates are coming down slowly. So this is a good time to talk to them and they can lock the rate, okay? 30, 60, 90 days. Usually when you lock those rates, you have upfront fees. In the normal world, in this case, you don't have any fees. It's gonna be an adjustment of a quarter, but we're gonna cover that. So within 30 days of your closing, if the rate goes down, we can change it once for free, okay? So keep that in mind, because if the people is saying, no, I don't know right now, 30, 60 days, we can do it. Yes?
30, 60, 90 days after we went under contract, or you can do it
We have,
before?
actually, we have 2 programs. This lock and drop is when you have the contract, you lock the rate, okay? But we have another one, which is the shop, lock, and drop.
Yeah.
Okay? When you say shop, if you're looking for a home, we can lock the rate. Okay, you can shop, and as soon as you have the contract, you have as well the option to drop the rate. That's a little more difference in terms of the adjustments, in terms of the market, in terms of the program, okay? This is simple because you have the contract, okay? But you can do in either scenario. So if you have any particular questions or any particular case, let us know, and we go over that, because every time I say the same, every client is different, so we have to be careful on that.
It's pretty simple. I mean, normally in a normal market, that happens. All lenders, I believe, have the opportunity to float down a lock if it's 100 basis points or more difference from when you locked it. This is better because it's 25 basis points or more, and then it makes up for the cost, which again, we cover. So if it drops at all, I mean, it sets you up for success. And it couples really well with the 2-step program, which is, that's when we're just buying now and refinancing later. Everybody has been saying it for months and months and years actually now. that when the rates drop, the market's gonna crack open and all these sideline buyers are gonna be rushing in. So when we see all of the news headlines really pointing in the direction of the rates starting to fall, and especially as the holidays happen and consumer pricing will show a lot of what 2024's forecast is gonna look like, but it seems like the window is closing for these people that need seller credits, for these people that are looking for an affordable price and will refi later. So now's the time to strike. So I think there's a lot of people out there that should be shopping and going
And
hard.
this is very important because it is amazing to me when I talk to the clients and they think that we're gonna have their rate locked for 30 days. It's amazing how people think that they're gonna be with that rate forever. You know, once we start talking about we can refinance, talk about the market in the past, up and down, that changed their mind. I don't know why that legal thing that you think that they're gonna be thinking about, it's amazing. I mean, they start making calculations about $300,000 home, I'm gonna end up paying $1 million, you know, this kind of thing. So you have to start talking a little more about the calculations, you know, the benefit of refinance, and there is no cost.
Yeah, there's no cost. In fact, there's a negative cost because you waive all of your lender fees, and we'll pay for your appraisal, pay for everything. So make sure that it really hits home. And I think that there's some closing attorneys that do similar programs and stuff. So it makes it an effective refinance.
You have the tools right there, Jose.
Yep.
You're welcome. Any questions? 1, 2, 3, 4.
If they wanted to refinance before the 9 months, so they would have to pay.
Yeah, you can, I mean, the deal is 6 to 9 months, but we refinance, we can help them.
Yeah, and there's no like prepayment penalty or anything like that.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
it's just that, yeah, and we can, like you said, we can work with it.
Anything for you?
Yeah, right, that's
Sí, yo hablo español.
¿Hablo español?
How are you all able to do that? I mean, is that a dumb question?
Which one, the flip down or the refi? So we are waiving all the fees that we are in control of. When it comes to closing costs, there's other third-party fees, so attorneys, taxes, and things like that. We are just waiving all of the fees that we are in control of. So I don't know, that's a better question for us.
Listen, we are not just for the business. We understand what's happening right now. You know, we understand about the client being nervous about the 7%, 8%. For me, it's not a big deal, honestly, the interest of this business. But for them, it is. So we understand that position, and we understand that at some point, we want to give them that benefit, even though if we don't make as much money in a regular refinance, we're taking care of a client, and most importantly, taking care of you as an agent. Because we want you to close that loan, so that's an incentive for them to come back.
So it's all about love.
Yes, of course.
Exactly, that's
right. Really, it's about that. Of course, we want to make money, but we understand it's like we want to take care of you right now, because in the future, because you already know how the market works, we're gonna get up to a lot of things, and we take care of you. We are in sales.
Any other questions? We're having questions. Go ahead, guys. Thank you. Thank you, our wonderful sponsor. Of course, we're coming up. And we got a great break. You have a good break? Good break to live.
I got worried because Panera acted like they didn't know I was supposed to be there, so but they had food. So
We had the same thing last week when we were doing the Panera with catering, and you guys were like, is that today? Yeah. Well, thank you for that beautiful break.
I'll pick it up next time.
I like it.
Good morning. Good morning. Jacob Thompson with Store Square. My account manager, Steven, used to come to these and say hi. He has now moved on to greener pastures, so I'm back in the game. So hopefully I'm not too rusty. I got too excited last time and forgot to mention the realtor referral that we do, so I'm going to start with that. We take $20 off the monthly rental of the container for your client, just for them mentioning your name at booking. So they'll say, you know, hey, Susan told me about you guys, and I'm inquiring, and we'll say, great, we know Susan, we love Susan, we're gonna give you $20 off the monthly rental rate for the lifetime of the rental, and we'll take extra good care of you, so we make sure she keeps referring clients to us. So it's not a promo code, it's not a discount thing, you don't have to scan a QR code, you just tell us who sent you, and we'll take care of your customer. I also wanted to mention, we are now set up to do regional moves, so we can do anywhere within a 10-hour trip time of Atlanta. So that's opening things up. We're going to Central Florida all the time. I got a driver down there right now, actually. So that means we can move more people for you. And then the last thing I wanted to do, I have 2 free coffees. I wanted to give the smallest gift I possibly could. I've already notified the IRS, so don't worry about the taxation on it. But I wanted to encourage some participation here. Has anyone here used us or referred clients?
Yes.
Yes, beautiful. And what was the outcome?
They compared prices and said that your prices were amazing compared to that other one.
Yes. Schmoz. Schmoz. Great. Anyone else?
I feel like I say this every time you're here. So our house flooded and you guys parked your pod in our driveway for like 3 months and it was excellent.
Great.
Yeah, it was a quick delivery, it was a quick pickup, and that was when everything was like freezing. It was over the holiday last year.
That hard freeze.
And nothing was damaged in the pod from the temperature.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was an excellent experience.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I wanted to ask, I have decorated an 8-foot container to look like a giant Christmas present. I custom ordered a bow from Central Iowa. It will be here next week. It's an 8-foot bow on top of this 8-foot container. It looks just like a Christmas present. And I want to get involved with somebody or some organization that's doing a toy drive or a fundraiser. Does anybody have anybody that's doing anything that could use a giant 8-foot container? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I have a new hire starting today, so I can't stick around, but I would love to continue the conversation. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I've been having fun. My business partner has wanted to do this for 5 years, and finally we're like, I'm gonna figure out where to buy an 8-foot Christmas present bow. So we figured it out. It's on its way. So we want to participate. So yeah, I'll reach out. And I'll get you a free coffee.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not coming from IKEA.
No.
Because you have to build it.
Oh, yeah. Some assembly required, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Any questions?
What'd you ask?
Questions?
Questions, yeah, any questions, guys?
How many size containers?
So we have 4 different sizes, the 8, which is the smallest, and then we have 12, 16s, and 20-foot units. So the 20-footers, you can put 4 to 5 rooms worth of furniture in there. The 8-footer, we can do like a studio apartment.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Question?
You definitely can go to like Calhoun, right? Do you go to that area?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
They did not move to Blue Ridge.
Oh, good.
Yeah. If you've never seen their process, they keep the pod level at all, sorry to use that word, but it level at all times. They have this contraption, they can put wheels on the pod, they can control it from this machine and bring it right up to your house and park it right wherever you want it.
We'll call it the square.
Yeah, the square, thank you. I knew I was using the wrong word. Get rid of that.
If that's how you remember me, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just remember.
It was great.
Absolutely. And your cards and info are downstairs, I think.
Yes,
right?
yeah, and I, last time I was here, I tried to stuff everybody's mailbox, so hopefully my info is there. I'll also leave a stack of cards right here. Cool.
Anything else? Give him a hand, please. So this is, like you said, this one is on my heart today because as I'm planning what I'm giving my grandchildren for Christmas, they have a long list and they don't get most stuff on their list. These families are not. They're not. How many left, Kimberly? 16. 16 families that we agreed to adopt for Christmas, you all did not do this, so I get the guys, so guys, if you have time, if you wanna get with somebody, and go together with them, guys, but these need to be taken care of, because if not, Papa Jim's have to do it, because I told him we would do it, guys, and we'll make it happen, guys, so, and if you don't have time to do it, please let Melissa know, and you can give her a check, she put it on your bill, whatever. I will tell you that I had 2 kids and bought them 2 presents each, and it cost me about $100 for 4 presents. So guys, that's about what it cost. And I went online and had it delivered here, which is cool, guys. So please do this. Kimberly?
I'm gonna pass around the book. It has a list of families that are still left. If you want one, take the page and put your name by the number of the family.
Please do that, guys, because guys, we want to make sure these families that we told we would take care of are going to have something to open up on Christmas morning, guys. So please, please, please do that. It needs to be here by December 14th, unwrapped. So please do that. Okay. Script Mastermind. Rob does this every single Wednesday, right, Rob?
Yes.
What do you want to say about it, buddy?
Be there.
I like that, Rob. A man of a few words. Guys, show up, because you need to start working on your script of, well, I don't really want to pay the other agent. What should that script look like, guys? So come work on that script soon, because it's coming out more and more, I understand, particularly with the appointments. 2024 event planning, Wednesday, December the 6th, 11-12, Patty and Kevin Jackson. So if you like to plan events, or don't like to plan events, Patty Jackson is one of the best at this. She loves to have events. And so come hear how she does her events. Because guys, an event for your client base, whether it's 3 people or 300, this will help you know how to do that for 2024. Because that should be part of your marketing for next year. Realtor safety. All right, guys, this is coming up on December the 7th. We have about 6 people signed up. And guys, this should be packed, because this guy is an expert on how to protect yourself, what you can do to stay out of trouble when you're out there showing property. And he's also an agent. He was here for a while and then joined a different team, but he's a great guy. He knows what he's talking about, and it is about personal safety. That's what it's about. So please, 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 sign up for this. Come on Thursday from 12:30 to lunch will be served. And guys, please come in, because it'll help you understand what you can do, what you cannot do, and how to protect yourself. And it's coming up. Guys, this is another one. Steve Kaut is the best at this. I don't know anybody that understands the MREA book better than he does. So he's going to be talking about life by design, guys. If you can design your life the way you want to live it, he will help you with that process. And he knows this stuff really well. He's a MAPS coach. He had a team of his own, also a team leader at one of the top offices in all the state of Georgia. So he's a great guy, knows this stuff well. Great talent. Put it on your calendar. And again, that is this Friday. From what time to what time, Kimberly? What am I missing?
11 to 1.
11 to 1, exactly right, guys. So please put that on your calendar, come, and there will be a lunch served. Arthurine, you want to talk about this? Is she still here? Let's talk about this, Arthurine.
So this is a time of year, and so that's why we had Steve come twice to talk about the economic model, and then he's going to talk about your life by design and the financials that goes with it. And so this is a time of year that you should be doing a GPS goal for the year, your priority to get to your goal, and the strategies that you need to use, and the 411. So the 411 is the piece that gives you the legs to run every month, every week. And we were at, where were we last week? Gene Rivers. Yes. And of course, it came up in his quantum lead class. And what he said was very telling. He said a lot of agents don't use a GPS. And the agents that he consults with, who sells at 1,800 homes to 5,400 homes a year, could never see themselves without a GPS and a 411. So my goal is to make it so simple. That's why I do it every Friday that I'm in town. Hop on Zoom. There are people from all over the country who are hopping on the Zoom just to make it simple and to use this tool. It's excellent. And you should be using this tool, whether you have an MREA business or you want to sell 10 houses next year. So I'll be there on Friday at 4. And guys, we do this out of generosity. We do this out of our culture. I don't get paid a dime for doing this. I do it because I want you guys to use it as a business tool and to use it at a high level. Thank you.
Because they say if you even think next year I want to have $100,000 in earned income, even thinking it puts you ahead of everybody else, but if you write it down, it puts you like in the 70% range of it actually happening. So guys, please come to one of these classes and get ready for next year, because someone's gonna make a lot of money next year. I hope it's gonna be some of you in this one. Okay. Asking for referrals, Monday, December the 11th, from 11 to 12. Arthurine and Chris Hurley. Tell us about this one, Arthurine.
Okay,
Your name is everywhere up there in their lights. I love it.
So we were in the business class with Steve Cow, and this one said, and Steve was talking about, don't you all just wanna have a referral only business? And this one said, well, we never get taught how to ask for the referrals, which is absolutely true. We get taught about our objection handlings, our mastery buyer script, or master listing script, and I said, well, I've taught that class here. And then I said, you know what, let me go get one of the best persons that I know. Chris Hurley was a team leader. A lot of people in here know of him. He is a coach. He's got 2 businesses. He's got a business in Houston, and he's got an expansion team up in Tennessee. Scripps Jedi is on every morning right after the James Shaw class. And so I called him and I said, Chris, I would love if you would teach this with me. So he's gonna do most of the teaching. I'm gonna cue him up because he is an elite at Scripps. I'm sorry, I'm not that. So guys, it's Zoom. He has the capacity to hold 100+ people. So we're gonna use this Zoom, and it should be packed out because we're gonna advertise it to the Pivot Chick community, and you know those people show up. So I wanna be able to look through the audience and see Eric and see all of you, because this is the time where we sharpen our tools.
Very well. If you don't succeed next year, and the ones that are here, I should be talking to the ones that are not here. It's not because you don't know what to do, because we certainly teach you how to do that thing. I got this. We're doing this for more than 10 years since I've been here, guys. So I love it. And it's a White Elephant Gift Exchange. It's just a fun. I want you to find that present that's in the back of your closet that your mother-in-law or best friend gave you that you went, I would never ever use this. And wrap and bring it in, and we're going to have a gift exchange. Can we don't say anything else about it at all?
Be here, bring a present.
Bring a present. I'll bring a couple of them in case somebody should have doesn't have one. But guys, please come. It's December the 4th. December the 12th, 11th, we're following our meeting next week. And next week, my plan is to have Ned Blumenthal here. He's our attorney for Edo Insurance, and he knows, he can tell us where the lawsuit's going, but particularly what we can and cannot say when the seller looks at us and says, by the way, do I have to pay the other agent's commission? He can talk about what's going on with all this lawsuit and how it may affect you all here. As you all know, the lawsuits have come to Atlanta, and there have been suits filed against Harry Norman and Berkshire Hathaway and Keller Williams LLC, whoever that is, and Remax, Dorsey Austin, all the major players that have been filed. So that'll be next week, and I'll tell you more about it as soon as I confirm it with Ned. So, and this is after that, so we're gonna have a great turnout next week on the 12th. All right, would you like to sponsor the coffee snack bar? Paige, you're on. Come on, girl.
Thanks. First of all, I want to talk about the ALC. And because this is the baby of the ALC. So if you're on the ALC currently, or you'll be on the ALC the coming year, or you've ever served on the ALC, would you stand up and let us recognize you? These folks give their time and their time and their energy, and with zero benefit to them except that it makes you feel so good when you're giving back to somebody that's given so much to you. So that's the cool thing about being on the ALC, and the ALC is the cream of the crop as far as in the market center. It's the top producing folks in the market center, and you must be asked to be on the ALC, and you get to again give your time and your energy. So this was the baby of the ALC, but Amanda, can you come up here with me, please? Amanda Warren. If you don't know Amanda, meet Amanda Warren. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your second or third year in production, you were asked to be on the ALC?
Second year.
Second year, so she got into the business and went at it full force, but immediately wanted to give back to the people that had given so freely to her. So, she put together a program, and that program became a survey. Y'all remember the survey from the end of summer? And it was a lot of information. Well, Amanda took all of that information along with a couple of other folks that were helping her, and she compiled it and brought it to the ALC. Because those are things that the ALC can help you with. I want you to understand that the ALC is there to represent you, okay? We are decision makers along with the paid leadership of Quan. We are decision makers on how things will be operated within our market center. So Amanda, how many weeks did you work on the survey?
Felt like a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a long time. But, and I'm super grateful for our office because we had such a response from just everyone that filled it out, and people were honest on it and they were transparent, and it was just really wonderful to be able to say, here's the data, what can we do with this? You know, how can we make everything better for all of us?
And that's what I thought was so cool, was that she took the time to decipher all of that information, and it was huge. And in our ALC meeting, it was decided that you, as the agents driving the market center, wanted something that held us together a little more. We're out of the pandemic, we're back into our offices. We have so many people that were just a little hesitant to put their toe back into the office, or that felt as though they could do as much from home because they had to. And we are seeing people are now realizing that you can't do as much from home. But what we wanted to establish was a meeting place, somewhere where you could say hello to people. That if you wanted to go there and be stopped from your business for a moment, it was okay. Instead of the squirrels that stop you when you're walking just to the bathroom or down to see Jim and you've got something really important on your mind and they go, hey, I need to ask you a question. And it's like, no, but we get a place we can hang out. So from all of that, we sat in the ALC and I went, maybe we need like a water cooler or some place just to hang out. So the birth. And thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping us cultivate community, like in our office.
And that's what this is all about. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the new coffee shop room that is for agents only. This is not for clients. We can talk in there freely, okay? This is not for clients. So we came together and we took the room that's just outside of the training room, Regen room on the main floor. And it was significant, believe it or not, to put that together financially. So we went to one of our sponsors and we asked that sponsor to get us up and running. So Thomas and Brown was so. Was so generous. I was waiting to see if you could say that word. Was so generous to write us a check, and I got to go shopping with him. I asked Lon for another check, and he went, "Hey, come on." But anyway, they wrote us a check and allowed us to buy the supplies that we needed, the refrigerator, the information screen that's up there, okay, and the furnishings and the coffee makers and the espresso machine and everything else. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it. So today, we're rolling out the next phase of the room. And first of all, let's stop calling it the room. You all got an email and asked to vote to name the room. So let's vote on the name of the room. We have Quan Cafe with 2 Ks. We have Clear to Close, KW Perks, The Daily Grind, The Nook, The Water Cooler, Lead Gen Cafe, Capper Cafe,
Take it easy.
Quan Cafe KC, and Take It Easy. Now, on some of these, I crossed them off. Because I can. But I want you to go along with our thoughts about this. It's not a Capper Cafe.
No.
It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, cute name, I don't know who it came from, but cute name, but not for us. And Lead Gen Cafe, there's not to be that kind of work done there. We have a Lead Gen room that Brenda put together for us on this floor, which is fabulous. If you haven't been there, you need to go. Another brainchild of the ALC that she took on as a project. So we're gonna take those out because we really, really want this to be something that is unique for agents only, and you're gonna hear the second part of this in just a second. So, from the emails that came in, the 3 that received the most votes were Quan Cafe, KC, and the Water Cooler and KW Perks. So, do we have alphabetical? We will go Quan Cafe, and we're gonna do it by applause. Okay, so has everybody thought from those 3? Okay, Quan Cafe. Okay, and Quan Perks. And the Water Cooler. And because everybody is involved with everything that we do, I want to thank Eric for suggesting Quan Cafe.
I guess you don't need that free coffee then.
Now, this is part 2 of Quan Cafe. Now we've got a name for it. This is part 2 of Quan Cafe. When we put all this together and Paige was out spending money, this has to be restocked on a constant basis. We do not want the Quan Cafe to be anything as a budget line item within our market center because that takes away from what?
Profit share.
Profit share.
Profit share, right. So no coffee machines to take away from our profit share. So we are offering sponsorships. Our team has sponsored it, and you'll notice that our name is on the reader down there. Our team name is on the reader right now because we've sponsored the supplies, the Cokes, the water, the snacks, the coffee, all of the replenishing the goodies.
Left out for 1 beer.
Yeah.
Left out for
The bonus beer.
And 1 beer. Now, y'all know who put that 1 beer in there, right? Ed Norton.
And then that will be drank at the end of the month, like when someone finally gets one over the finish line.
4 o'clock on the clock.
So, here's what we're offering. And the benefits. As an agent or a team, you can sponsor the, for 2 weeks or 1 month. For 2 weeks, it is $250, and for 1 month, it is $400. And what you receive for that is your name is on the reader board, your listings are on the reader board, any promotion is on the reader board, your social media can be on the board. If you are looking for help or need assistance in anything, you can turn in your information to Kimberly and she will post it on the reader board for you. You can also have flyers in the Quan Cafe. I'm gonna get used to it now, Quan Cafe. So, and also it's to be known as a leader within the Market Center. Now, this is available to folks who are not agents as well. So for 2 weeks, it is $250, and for 1 month, it is $400.
Is it $250 per week?
No. It's $250 for 2 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
So if I have a friend that owns a pest control company, he doesn't have to be a vendor.
That is correct. He can be a sponsor of the Quan Cafe.
Okay.
Ah, is that?
And that money goes towards the supplies? To supplies?
Only to the supplies.
Okay.
And believe it or not, it's that expensive. The Diet Cokes are that much. And so, it's available to sponsors, it's available to vendors. So get out there, get your vendors, ask your vendor to sponsor it. You do not have to physically stock it. Billy is gonna take care of ordering the supplies. We've made a list of supplies. If you have suggestions that you would like to see in your Quan Cafe, you can talk to Courtney, Cortney, no view, Courtney at pagemorgannoi.com. So we're the vowel-less Morgan sisters. So thank you very much for making it happen, and make sure that you think about sponsoring it, or if you think of a sponsor who you think would love it, then let them know that it's available, and that's some pretty cheap advertising and marketing.
Okay, guys, Michael Cheever, with this idea, Michael Cheever lost, I don't know, 40 or 50 pounds, but she didn't need to lose anyway. I found it. So anyway, but he wants to have us to march to fitness starting this month. You win $2,000 prize to get started. You text at this number right here. And so this is maybe he wants us to talk about in our team meetings. So you want to play a little bit of the slide of the video. I'm sorry.
There's one simple hearing.
Introduce you to Rami O'Day today, actually. And he's going to talk a little bit about fitness, and then we're going to introduce you to a competition where you have an opportunity collectively to win $1,500. So, thank you, Michael. I'm here from Alloy Personal Training. We are a boutique personal training gym focusing on, think of one-on-one personal training, but in a small group of 6 people. So you get one-on-one attention, but you still get the camaraderie of other people, and the great news is you get the price of group training. So that's kind of what we do. We specialize in it, been doing it for 32 years, and we've opened 5 locations in Atlanta now, and I'm at the Sandy Springs location. And I'm here to tell you how to win a contest. We are going to do a 90-day challenge. When is it starting, Michael? December 15th. December 15th, go through, I would imagine, March 15th, but that's 90 days. And the goal is to add as much muscle as you can. I'm going to give you 3 quick tips on how to win this contest, okay? First of all, obviously lift weights at least 2 days a week. We would love to show you what we do at Alloy, so we're going to bring you in, show it. We'll actually have a special if you decide to join us. Number 2, eat enough protein. That's not going to be hard during the holidays. Our goal is 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, or even easier, your goal body weight. So if you weigh 170, your goal is 150. That's 150 grams of protein per day. And then the hardest thing is get enough sleep. So we want 7 to 9 hours a night. We know you're not always going to get that, but we want you to use that time to recover. Those are my 3 big tips. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but we want you guys to have fun. And like, this is a contest, but really everybody will win, because if you add muscle, you're a healthier person. So here's the details. So we are going to start on December 15th. So between now and December 15th, basically, you're going to text the number that they set up for us. You're going to text your name and then your list KW. You're already going to know that you're in a competition. You're going to receive the promotional rate from Alloy Personal Training for the next 3 months. if you wanna do it. Now, this is important clarification. So you have to test in and test out at Alloy on their inline body scan machine. That way, we're all testing in and out on the same machine, right? And I said we, in the competition, because you got the beat me with money, all right? And I go hard and think. Now, with that, you can work out anywhere you want. Just know that I will have an advantage over you because I will have my own personal trainer at Alloy. And seriously, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Over the next 90 days, as we get ready for spring break, you'll be adding lean muscle.
You all, so if you'd like to participate in this, Kimberly will send out the number. This is it right here to get started. So guys, and you can win up to $1,500 in prizes. It's a great way to start your year and to have a goal of getting slim and trim so you can be in your bathing suit by spring. It'll take me a little bit longer than that. But anyway, guys, this is what you do, guys. Please take that down, and Kimberly will sit down again. Thanks, Kimberly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, what's next, Kim?
You want to skip lessons learned?
What you ask?
You want to skip lessons learned?
Lessons learned. Wow.
I thought she said she was gonna skip. Lessons learned. So, every week, every day, I get questions from agents, okay? And a lot of them are after the fact, okay? Like, I did this, how do I get out of that, right? Do you think that's normal? In our business, it is. So this is the lessons learned. If you call me, or anybody in leadership, right? Sherry specifically, or myself, before you write the contract, your life will be a lot easier.
But Rob, it's 10 o'clock on a Friday night and I'm scrambling and I gotta.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Bad idea.
So how many people in the room can go to a specific page on their computer or anything that's got a list of stipulations? Every hand should be up. Every hand should be up. Because
Well, yes, she said, isn't it there? And it is.
It's on Quan Resource.
right,
That's one place.
Yeah.
so that'd be
That's
one
one
place on your computer,
Yeah,
right, right?
Quan Resource page.
Does everybody realize that Quan Resource page has that?
Yes. No, we don't.
Now you do.
Well, now we do.
Yeah.
So normal, and there's never a normal market, right? Because I've been in all the different markets. But a lot of times there's 2 or 3 things, you know, for a buyer that you're gonna try to get, right? And for a seller on a listing agreement. So you should have those pre-printed out, okay? And then when you go into the negotiation on the amendment to address concerns, there's some verbiage that is pretty standard in trying to convey what you want. So not only this is what I want, but this is what I want it by. So we can either send out another inspector or get receipts or whatever. And a lot of times that is just assumed between agents. You can't assume that everyone is on the same level, right? Like not everyone has been in the business as long as Russell or Paige, right? So if I asked you, I would assume that you're gonna do the correct thing for me. Well, who are you working for? If I'm the buyer's agent, who are you working for? If I'm the buyer's agent, right? And if you're the selling agent, and I leave something off, Paige is not gonna call me and go, didn't you really mean this? And she probably knows
what I left out. But her job is to take care of her client. Okay, guys? So I can't stress it enough. Put it in writing. Put what you want them to do. And then how you're gonna make sure they did what they did, whether it's another inspection, receipts, you're still gonna check it through your walkthrough. And why do most walkthroughs you wanna do it 3 days prior to closing? Because everything they say they're gonna do and they give you the receipt for, right? It says, oh, the back deck steps were fixed, and you go and you see that someone just put a couple of screws in it and they stuck a brick under it. You didn't say how you wanted it to get fixed, so it's fixed. So you have 3 days now to get yourself out of the pickle. A lot of times I'll get calls and you want me to get you out of the pickle. And I'm sure there's people in this room that I've said this to before. I can't help you. I mean, I can tell you how to have conversations to make it better, but if it's in writing or not in writing, so the lesson learned is write what you expect, inspect, okay? Awesome.
Rob, give my hand. Russell and Beth, come up for a second. Come up here. We're all trying to figure out what 2024 is going to be like, what's going to happen. Listen is going to a radio station, I think it's 95.5, which is news. And Clark Howard, who's Clark Howard?
Consumer Advocate in Atlanta. Consumer Advocate.
Consumer Advocate, exactly right. And you want advice for us for real estate? Wait till prices come down. Wait till interest rates come down. Wait. Is that good advice you all? No, it's bad advice.
He's the most conservative person on every topic there is.
Living in this $5 million house in Buckhead.
How many of you think price is gonna come down the next year?
Oh,
Next 2 years?
We don't know, we don't have.
We don't know, but guys,
He's asking
we don't know, but guys, the chances of it going up are a lot of things coming down.
Why would they
So
come
I asked-
down?
What did you say?
If we were saying no, there won't, but why would they ever come down?
Well, that's a great
Well,
question.
they've come down in the past and they probably will come down in the future.
Well,
Yeah, but.
we don't have inventory though,
The
so,
only time we saw it was back in 2008, 9, 10. That was it when there was desperation.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
And stop gaps have been put in since then.
100%, yeah.
So that's, anyway, I've met Clark before at Goldberg's. Right there. I've had a wonderful Jewish deli. If you've not been to Goldberg before, it's fabulous. I've loved being there. So I've been there a couple times there. I mean, he's a smart guy, but he is a generalist. And I won't have him telling our story for us. So Russell, Beth, take it over.
All right, good morning. I'm Russell Barber with the Janice Overbeck Real Estate Team. This is
Oh, wait, we did
yeah,
determine,
we
were
did,
you
we
saying
did.
it, was I saying it?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I'm Beth Piazzi with the Janice Overbeck.
This is how it goes in our office all the time. You're gonna get a little taste. Quick story, very first contract I wrote when we were at Jenny Pruitt, thinking I know it. I write it all up. I send it over to the listing agent and she calls me. She goes, hey, this is so-and-so, Cole Banker. She goes, I've got your offer. She goes, are you new in the business? She goes, you wrote this. I'm pretty sure you meant to write this, right? And I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, let's fix that before I present it to the client. First and only time that ever happened.
Yeah.
She was awesome. But yeah, those things happen. Don't ever count on the other agent calling you though. Jim asked us to come over today to talk a little bit about 2024 and what we should focus on. In my office, when we run our meetings, we ask for participation. Last thing y'all want is for us to talk about what we think should happen in the marketplace. So I want it to be interactive, and let's chat about some of the things that we're talking about with our team. certainly raise your hand. If you have got questions, ask us. We'll tell you what we're doing. We learn from you just like you could possibly learn from us.
And Russell, start off with, not everyone knows who Janice Ovington is in this room, so you know
What?
Jim, you're not doing your job. No. By the way, y'all know Jim followed me to Keller Williams, right? I always like to say that.
Nice.
Just making sure we know. You tell us who Janice is.
Right, it's who you work with, you tell us.
How many of y'all don't know who Janice Overbeck is? I hate to say that.
Oh,
Aubrey Johnson. Y'all stand back from her. All right. Janice is a mega agent. We have our own office down the road, a couple of miles down the road. Janice has been in the business since 2009. She hopped in the business at what I consider a great time to have hopped in the business. Okay. We came from a time, first of all, who's been in the business a year or less in this room? Okay. All right, cool. Don't freak out. It's a great business to be in. How about 1 to 5 years? Okay, and over 5 years? Okay, cool. That's good. Beth and I were talking. We talk a lot on my way in. I live in Blue Ridge, so I've got about an hour, and we talk back and forth about different things. First of all, if you've been in the business 2 or more years, we're learning things every day. Paige, I bet you learn things every day. Susan, every day. I learn things every day from my new agents that come in, right? I do not claim to know it all. People are like, oh, you've been in the, I forgot who said it, but you've been in the business a while. Well, that's great. That doesn't mean a thing, right? We're learning just like everybody else, okay? Question though, the biggest question we had was, how many of y'all have heard the phrase back to the basics?
Ad nauseam.
Ad nauseam. You'll hear it over. Get back to the basics. We had this aha one time of, what does that mean to you that's been in the business less than a year? What does that mean to those that have been in 1 to 5 and those of us that have been in longer than that, right? It's going to be different. It's going to be totally different from each one of us. So for the ones that have been in less than a year, what does that mean to you when you hear that? Somebody tell me. What does that mean?
Basically, nothing at all, because we're learning every day. It's a new thing. So for us, we are learning as we've been taught and learning from the peers.
Yeah. This has been great today, by the way. There's so many resources in this office, right? There's so much teaching that goes on. Audrey, it's awesome. Paige, what the ALC is doing, awesome, right? There's so much to lean into here. Paige, when you hear back to the basics, what does it mean to you?
Well, it means exactly that. What did I first do when I first sold my first house? And I have been a farmer since day one. So it means to do what I have done to make me successful in the past. The only thing that we have changed is that we do it with more intensity.
Right, okay, that's right. So we talked about this morning, intensity and being intentional, right? So my guess is you're looking at every little thing you're doing and going, okay, is this working? If not, where do we pivot to, right? Every one of us should be looking at that. And don't be afraid to do something in fear it might fail. It's okay. But I think a lot of us are afraid to go ahead and take that first initial step thinking, what if I'm not good at it? That's okay. Trust me, I have tripped and fallen many a time.
I wonder too, if back to the basics, since not instead of, but another way to look at it, instead of like the very first transaction that you did and what you did and how it worked, but looking at your transactions as a whole and what are the things, the common denominators that happen on every transaction regardless. So you have to have a conversation, you have to show homes, you have to write offers, you have to get your offers accepted, you have to negotiate, you have to close. It just looks different every time, every client, every season of the business. So it's like, it's taking a step back and looking at, those are the basics, getting back to making sure I'm doing all of those, but with intention and looking at what we're in with the season and how is that gonna work now? Because it's not the same as it was 6 months ago.
That's what I was going to say. Is it fair to say that a year ago, year and a half ago, was totally different than it is today, right? While the basics may be the same, using that word of how we go through the motions, it's totally different how we do it. Rob?
So I think going back to the basics, in my household right now, my wife is on this cooking thing, all natural and everything. And we really went back to the basics. We have eggs, there's fresh flour that she mills and everything, right? And if you go back to the
1800s, right? You had eggs, you had flour, and you had milk, right? So I think the basics in our business is conversations and appointments. Now, how you have those conversations and where those appointments come from and everything, that's where the creativity comes in, but you have to have, I was at your guys', what was it called, your summit?
Oh, the
Yes, we had the
summit.
summit.
Yeah, at Top Golf, and Sean was there.
Right.
And he said, you know, listen, we've got every Sean Rawls, who is a great mind. And what Paige just said too, we've got, and the business hasn't changed. What has changed is the technology around it, right? We can analyze a little bit better than before when we were using a note card, right? The database, I'll bet you when Paige and Susan started, there was index cards, right? So it's come away, but main thing is how many conversations can I have in a variety of different ways and get appointments? I walked, the one takeaway I took from that time I was there was Sean was like, hey, so you know, you like football? That's great. You know, yeah, what restaurants do you like? By the way, I'm in real estate. What's your favorite restaurant and everything? And you're just having conversation. And by the way, I'm in real estate. By the way, I'm in real estate, right? It was like an afterthought, even though it was
intentional.
So Beth and I, that was a conversation. I said, remember when Sean was mentioning, I said he was having a full-blown conversation, and it was like, oh, you know, I was on a listing appointment last week, and I was talking to the seller, and they mentioned, he never talked about real estate, he just said, I was on a listing appointment, or when I was helping a buyer or showing buyer homes. Guys, you can talk and have great conversations and drip on the real estate portion of it. Don't be fearful. I hear the word script. How many of y'all freeze over the word script a lot of times, right? I can remember hearing the word script and go, oh, I don't want to do scripts. Let me tell you, go into any of these script classes and make these scripts your own. Be careful now. I know some of them are professionally written for a specific way to say something, but you can take that script and make it your own. Don't be afraid to do that. Right? And don't be afraid of scripts. They can help you over objections a lot of times. But I always tell my guys, make it like you're going out to lunch or dinner with a friend you have not seen in a long time, and just start having a conversation. And guess what? The whole real estate conversation will come up naturally, right? But now is the time. How many people in here use a CRM? Something to manage your contacts. Every hand should be up, right? If your hand is not up, guys, please get a CRM of some type, and begin to use it. And the best one to use is the one you're going to use, right, Clark?
Yeah.
Is the one you're going to use. I don't care if it's an Excel spreadsheet or command or follow-up box or any of the others that are out there.
Or 3x5.
Or 3x5.
Well, I know, I was thinking that, because I was sitting across from Julie, and will you please hold up your planner? Because like, so this is how Julie, she uses our CRM. Do it, sorry, I'm gonna make you.
You want me to open it?
Just like, this is her, that's where her organization is, that's what works for Julie, that wouldn't work for
And
me.
my 411 is in the front.
Yeah.
Or 411 is in the front.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I know this looks, I use this too, but I have too much going on. I have to.
It works.
But that's
you
how
know,
your brain works.
It's how your brain works, it's how you stay organized, exactly.
Y'all do know when
This
Gary
is
started in the
organized
business, it's called Gary in a box. Okay, I don't know if y'all have ever heard that, but Gary Keller used 3x5 index cards in a box. I did not know this, had no clue about this, and when I was being interviewed for the team leader of the Buckhead Market Center, I was telling Sean, as he was interviewing me, about how I started my cleaning service. I had a commercial cleaning service. I had 2 boxes, 3x5 index cards. I would go park myself in an office complex park and walk door to door to door. And I would do 5 at a time, go back to my van, write on index cards what the conversation was, who the lady was at the front desk, or whatever the case may be, staple the card and file it, whether I contact them, you know, needs a thank you note, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And that's how I started the cleaning service.
Now it's called a DTD2.
What's it?
Now it's called a DTD2.
Okay, so whatever you need to do to have some type of database management or contact management, do it.
Lead follow-up, not just like database follow-up.
When we went back, we were thinking this morning, we were talking about 2020, 2021, And I use the word order takers, you know, probably heard that, right? And we were just doing everything we could to keep up with the market and to keep up with our buyers and to keep up with the listings that we have, right? And all of a sudden, it's changed. So we have a whole different type of crazy right now. And it's in markets, and now, as I mentioned to Paige last time, 2008, 9, 10, these are the markets we learn the most in. So embrace this market, don't be scared of this market. And I think what the feds, Hunter just walked out, you guys are here, the feds just made an announcement that they plan to reduce
6 times.
6 times next year, right? So that's gonna present some great opportunity, but that's all.
That's speculation. The Fed's not saying that.
No.
Or whoever, so they're making it sound, I have not read the article.
That was Inc. 500.
Says the
Yeah,
Fed
there was a writer.
Yeah.
So when you look at that though, that creates, regardless of who says it, when that narrative gets out there, guess what? That's gonna create some more information y'all got to have in your, you know, bank to be able to talk to clients about. Yeah. Right, not only that of, hey, we understand rates are gonna go down, we're gonna still wait. Ooh, hang on a minute, let's not do that, let's look at what we can do today. And that's where our partners come into play.
Can I get your opinion? Right? You call your clients, can I get your opinion?
Yeah.
What do you think of it? Because, I mean, think about it in this room, if rates did go down 6 times, right? God bless America, right? But if it did, what's that gonna do for you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? Oh my God.
Increase your competition.
That's right. It
Yes,
increased the price of your home.
That's what I just said, Eric.
It will do
That's
something
just
very
said.
simple. It's the levy.
Yeah, correct.
So if we do have 6 different times, and the word is different, 6 different times, it doesn't say 6 points, it doesn't say 6 half points. So, I mean, it could be a 1/16 of a point 6 times. Okay, that's not going to change what will be eaten up literally by the increase in property prices, not necessarily value, but property prices. And I read something the other day about whatever goes up must come down, and that is not true in the real estate business. That whatever goes up as far as home prices do not have to come down.
Yeah, so there's an exception.
And they're
to that,
not
correct.
going to come down, just like what we just said. They're not gonna come down. The only thing that's going to affect the monthly cost of housing is interest rates.
Right. And I do think they will come down. I do think they will, in an election year, speculation on my part.
Really?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
We will
thanks.
see adjustments somewhere along, and that is, I have used the phrase, what goes up must come down, but what comes down won't stay down, right? So it is the levy pull. And we'll go into that again. Again, these are the markets we will learn the most in. When I started with Jim in 2000 and went through 2005 and 6, we were kind of like it was in 2020. Not as big of a frenzy, but it was still like that, right? And then the crash. So don't be afraid of it. For those that are newer in the business, great opportunities out there. I truly believe that. What else did we?
It's a perfect opportunity for the follow-up with your clients in your database. How many of you have people that are on the sidelines right now because of interest rates? Even if it's just the call right now to say, hey, it looks like they're hitting the news and there might be some changes going forward, maybe we should have another conversation about how you're feeling about things. We listened to a podcast yesterday and he mentioned people's motivation changes basically every day. So if you're not staying on top of it and you're not following up and you're not touching base, you might miss that opportunity when their motivation shifts. You want to be right there when it does. And I don't remember who it was. I know there's been 2, but I've been at meetings here where they've talked about let the interest rate piece go and talk to your clients about their budget and what their affordability is. Leave the interest rate out of it. What can you afford? And then let's go from there.
But don't you think the interest rates affects the affordability?
Yeah, but
100%.
100%. But if you need to buy right now, let's talk about what you can afford. And
You still have to live somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the interest rates are. I had to live somewhere when interest rates were 14%.
But if
I
somebody-
did not live in a tent.
Yeah, my point was, somebody who wants to purchase a home, I've got a client, perfect example, they were in the 450s, and with the interest rate change, now they don't, because of their budget, they do not wanna go above 375.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it does affect their
And that-
affordability.
Let's all agree, interest rates do affect
Yeah,
affordability.
that's all
Right,
I'm
we can-
saying.
However, I think if we kind of back into the interest rate sometimes, depending on what it is, we can back into it and have that conversation and go, okay, let's look at what's important to you. Let's look at what your end goal is. Let's look at, your motivation for moving, and then we can back them in sometimes.
Yeah.
But there are people that will get pre-qualified and go, and my kid is an example right now. I am working to find her a house. And I have been doing this for about 3+ months right now, and have not been successful.
Excuse me.
Right?
Russell,
And they qualify
good real
for
job.
here, but they will not go out of their budget here. Yes, sir.
the point she's making is though that the interest rate, that number that's the interest rate is not what's stopping them.
Right. Oh, I agree with you,
It's
Reed.
the
Right.
number of the monthly payment.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with
What
you.
are you comfortable
We're all,
with?
we're like basically saying the same thing, different ways,
Yeah.
which,
So let's wrap it up and say, okay, great, if that's what it is, put them with your lender partner. That's why we have the lender partners, right? And see what options there are. Because everybody is coming up with different options now. And there may be an option that you guys don't know about, that I don't know about, that you don't know about, that may help your client. Right, that's why it's so important. Let's go back to Susan Page and I, when we were in the business, guess what? We didn't have the Zillows and the FMLS the way it works now to rely upon to send listings to our buyers,
Thank goodness.
right? Right, it was almost
Actually
easier when
communicate
we
with
actually had to talk to them, we had to dig in the MLS all the time, we had to look at what's going on. If we are letting the MLS and Zillow do our heavy lifting for us as agents, you need to reevaluate what you're doing, right? It is the perfect opportunity for you to be in contact with people. I'm hearing of people doing unsolicited CMAs to past clients as a way to talk to them. It's kind of a cool idea, right? We can think of different ways to reach out and touch people. People are like, well, I don't want to call that person. I haven't talked to him since closing 3 years ago. I don't know what to say to him.
But have
All kinds of things we can do. What's that?
Have a plan. I spoke to an agent yesterday, and everybody here can learn from this. Because I was the same guy a while ago when I first got into business. I was like, I'm gonna do all 750 and above. This was 8-9 years ago, right? And my partner Tom was like, what are you gonna do the rest of the time? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's not, those don't move as quick as back then, a $300,000 house, right? Well, this person wants to do high-end stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, how many high-end homes have you previewed in your area? So when they go to have the conversation, she has no information, right? So we have all this information. There's more training in this office, bar none, of any other KW or any other brokerage around. Lean in and just come up with one or two things.
Yeah, information is power. Knowledge is power. It's the equivalent to cash is king, knowledge is power. Okay? Remember, every time you're meeting a client for the first time or a referral for the first time, you're being interviewed. You were being interviewed. Okay,
well, it segues into the number one complaint from the consumer, which is lack of communication from the real estate agent. And so right now, if we know that there's news out there about the Fed and rates, that if we know about it, they know about it. So who are we gonna let educate them on that? Are we gonna be doing it, or are we gonna let them continue to watch TV, read posts, whatever it is? Use your opportunity to jump in front of it and start having a conversation. Because yeah, maybe the rates are gonna go down a little bit, that's amazing, so you think you're gonna be able to afford more, but so does everybody else. So now you're gonna flood the marketplace with more buyers, and what is that gonna do to home prices potentially? So your job is to get in front of them and start coaching them and start strategizing with them. We used to call it a buyer consultation, and we changed it up like a year ago almost to a strategy session. Because we need to sit down and get in front of our buyers and create the strategy behind getting them into a home. What does that process look like? Because it's changing all the time.
all the time.
And the communication piece being, now let's go back to the CRM. Are we just like sending a mass email to everybody, or are we actually putting detailed notes in every single lead page so that we know exactly where they are, why they're there, and then checking in to see if that's where they still are or if anything's changed and how can we help.
So that's correct, I've heard past week. I guess I put my phone in them. So, what would y'all guess homes will go up in value the next year? What percentage do you think is about normal?
4%.
Say it again.
4%.
Okay, 4%, okay, all right, so 4%, okay. So if you buy a house today at, what's the rate right now, what do you guys? 7%, okay, is that correct, yeah? And next year, the rates fall to 6%, but the home you buy is not going up 4%, have you won? Tell me what I just now said, what did I just now say?
It's a lot of math.
What?
I didn't sign up for that. I'm like Chevy Chase in the Saturday Night Live skit. I was my impression
So
that.
if the home goes up 4% and your rate goes down 1%, are you getting a better deal next year at this time?
Those two things are not. You've got a year's
Well,
worth
no,
of
well,
equity.
so I thought maybe if it cost you more to buy a house next year, that was wrong, I could be wrong about that, though.
I think you won.
Huh?
You won.
Well, tell me how you won.
Because the prices are going up 4%, you can refi and change your rate, and you still bought it for 4% less a year ago.
Even if you don't change your rate, even if your rate stays the same.
You've
there's
got a
still
year's
hit.
worth, you've got a year's worth of equity that you would have been throwing away on rent.
So guys, my thing is, when's a good time to buy?
Now. 5 years ago.
Right. When Jim Service said 2011, 5 more houses, right?
When I looked at my daughter during the summer and said, it's time to hop into the market, she looked at me and went, do we need a realtor? Like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, you need to do it now. We did some back calculations, they spent just $100,000 in rent.
Wow.
100K.
That's right.
Own nothing, have nothing that went up in value, and 100K.
And those are examples that you can use with your clients right now because the cost of waiting is significant. That's exactly the conversations I'm having right now with people who are on the fence. Just look at the trends, go back in your trends. You look at the price, the home values that have gone up and the rates going lower, which they're gonna do, and all those buyers that are gonna jump back in are gonna raise the offer price that you're gonna have to make like we did 2 years ago. You can't change the price you paid for your house, Mr. Client, when that goes way up, but you can change your interest rate.
And so Eric, I feel like I'm in a race against time before rates start dipping to get them into a house. Right? Isn't that kind of crazy? A weird thought process at that point, but I'm like, let's see what I can get them before rates do that. Clark?
So y'all mentioned lead generation, like you mentioned sending an unsolicited CMA. And you mentioned looking at stuff that works and doesn't, like red light, green light kind of stuff. So what, as a team, are y'all doing for lead gen right now that maybe you weren't doing 6 months or a year ago, and what's working and what did you get rid of that maybe wasn't?
So have you met Gunnar Overbeck? He's always trying something different. He's implemented 3 new things in the past 2 months that are lead capture systems or different ways to come in. What we are conveying to our agents is to make sure they're in touch with anybody that they've done business with in the past couple of years, reconnecting with them. We have not done the unsolicited CMA. I just heard this elsewhere, thought it was a cool idea. Not saying that we won't do that at some point, but we are ever evolving in what we do. How would you answer it?
Well, so with the team set up, we provide leads to our agents. So the going out and door knocking and cold calling and expireds, we don't talk about that as much because we have, here are leads. What has changed, in my opinion, is over the last 6 months, we are talking a lot more about leaning back into their past clients, looking at referrals and really diving into their SLI and how to build their SLI and start building their business, and not just rely on the team to provide the leads, have that be almost the backup. It's there, I can use it, I can take it, but at the end of the day, how can I look at building my business? And I would say the biggest thing is probably just SOI and, going back to referrals and past clients. You guys want to jump in what you're doing?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, going back to the basics as you were describing when you guys encourage us to touch back with our past
Yeah.
clients and our SOI, and that's exactly what, I feel like we're all trying to do here.
Yeah.
I've been calling, we have like an event this Saturday, C3C, and I'm sure you guys heard of it. But I've been calling my past clients for sending videos, like personally inviting them and saying, hey, you guys, like, because the reality is last year, I didn't have as much time to connect with them personally and make phone calls, and now this year's kind of slowed down a little bit, so I'm like, okay, now I need to meet for lunch, I need to make the phone calls, I need to like send the videos, and they were like super grateful. I've been getting some really great response, and I actually think they'll be coming in Saturday, so anyway, just.
One of the things that UNR has gone after is a system that looks at whatever data it looks at that we don't know about, but it comes up with a score of potential life event that would trigger a move. And so there's a number attached to it. Once it hits a high enough number, our ISA team goes after them and starts tripping on them to see if that's gonna be a legit thing. So we're dabbling with that a little bit, wrong word to use since that was actually in the podcast
And I'm
yesterday,
assuming
not to
that's
dabble.
a type of artificial intelligence.
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Like, guys, what percentage of agents, I'm gonna be up, man, what percentage of agents have a plan nationally to touch or to lead generate at least once a month?
Oh, probably like 0.1.
4 or 5%.
Yeah.
95% of agents have no plan to touch their database or doing that lead generation at least once a month. Amanda.
So I have a question about the AI, because I don't know why, I was just like, so is it like predicting like, okay, they're gonna move because of a like, is it like, oh, they're probably gonna die soon?
They don't know.
Or
We don't- they
they're gonna
won't
get a
tell us what the
divorce,
life
or like
event
they're gonna,
is,
oh,
but
okay.
yes, it's a life event. So
Okay.
it doesn't tell us, but it is.
I'm like, hold on.
Oh, it is. It's
Yeah.
it's
It's
invasive.
creepy. Yes,
They
creepy.
use invasive.
Oh my God, can you guys?
Yeah, whatever they're
They
seeing
check
in
the
searches,
horoscopes.
they're checking and they are, and by the way, that hasn't led to, that hasn't led to anything yet. But our back office system is doing the same thing. They're about to launch it, so he's gonna run that. He really is, and he's all in on the AI stuff, which is fun for me because I'm not. So he and I always like butting heads a little bit on it, but it's also nature of the beast that you have to get into it. But yeah, we don't know, that will not tell us what the life event is, it just gives us a score, and then we just casually reach out to see how things are going.
I didn't mean to get sidetracked, but I was like, hold on, I have questions about this.
And I look at this as, great, it's a nice little addition in the back, nothing's going to beat me reaching out and calling somebody and checking.
100%.
Nothing.
Russ, you've been in business how many years?
23, Jimmy.
So what's
Only
changed the
20.
past 20 years significantly to change your lead generation activities? What changed?
You know, okay, yeah, we've got AI now, that's great. We've got computers now, we've got FMLS that can send automatic emails. I am not in production, but if I was in production, I would do everything I'm sitting up here talking about as far as reaching out and contacting my people. The biggest change, I guess, for us is going to be the internet. When I started, we had what looked like an old DOS program on a computer screen, you know, with a flashing square, and we had to enter, I don't even remember what it was with FMLS, but it would give you a printout that you could not read. You literally had to scan through to get the information you needed. We didn't have these nice printouts we have now, right? So I would say the internet's been the
Like,
biggest.
Paige, what's changed the most in the past 30 years as far as lead generation?
Nothing.
Say it again?
Nothing.
Oh, did you say lead generation specifically, Jim?
How, just to define leads, what's
Okay,
changed?
yeah, no, I'm with Paige, like.
And, you know, and I'm listening to what you're saying about the life event.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool and that's groovy and everything else, that now we can get it faster.
Mm-hmm.
I think speed, maybe speed to lead, we've all heard that,
Mhm.
but maybe that's what has changed. But a few years ago, there were dinosaurs on the earth, and then you could go to the courthouse and you could pull marriage license.
Yeah.
And if you pulled marriage license, you knew that there would be a life event in 3 to 5 years.
Right.
Okay, and that's called the birth of a child. So speed to lead, AI can, you know, go to the courthouse a lot quicker and can pull that same data, and they don't have to do the steps that we had to take. But if you were an aggressive, I'll say, or a successful or a productive agent years ago, you did the same thing that AI is doing today. So nothing has changed. If you go in and pull death certificates in Cobb County and you pull the sex of the death of the person that died, there's a formula that you can use that will tell you how soon the other spouse will die. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so I love dead people. Has everybody in this room heard me say that before? I love dead people. Jim knows that. I mean, it's a huge part of my business. I love dead people. I've been pulling death certificates and using that formula for years.
Sure.
Now I don't have to go to the courthouse anymore.
That's your fingertips.
So I'm much newer to this business. I'm not even 3 years in, and so as I was listening to all of us, like something that was coming up over here, it was when you were talking about like show them, you know, the cost of this, and then you know the 1 year that they have in the equity of that and whatever. And I was sitting up here thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, I bought my house in November of 2019. It's amazing. But I didn't buy it because I was playing the market, because I was looking at interest rates and I was trying to decide if now was a good time or if I should wait 6 months. I did it because I got married and I blended a family and needed a bigger house. I wanted my kids in a certain high school. It was personal. And I'm just wondering if we get so far over into this thought process of like the interest rates and the best time to buy and all the logistics that we forget that probably for a lot of our clients, this is just a personal transaction.
It's just the deed.
Do you know how many homes are
It's
pending
personal.
in 30062 right now? Does anybody know how many homes are pending in 30062?
How many
80
homes
so
are
far pending.
87.
30062.
I'm gonna say
In
100.
the 80s.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're not that high, because there aren't that many
No.
to sell.
43.
If I believe it's in the 40s, if I'm not mistaken. I looked at it the other day.
It's a smaller zip code, 6-8.
But I'm only
is-
using
is
that
it-
only
yeah.
because, don't tell me there's not business going on.
That's right.
There's business happening.
Right.
There's
43 people have
motivation.
pending
Correct, there's
sales.
motivation for these people to have listed their home, and there's motivation for those buyers that bought them. So find the motivated, we've heard that before. Understand what the motivation is. Get the appointment, like Rob said, because when you get in front of somebody and you're having those conversations, your chance of converting that lead is so much greater. What
whole
can help
story
with that?
comes out.
What's that?
They tell you everything.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a casual conversation, guys. It's a casual conversation,
But it's a conversation.
but it's a conversation.
And we need to practice conversations. We can call it conversation
Instead of
practice
script.
instead of script practice. There we go.
Yeah, and
Well,
where is
I've
instead of
been, I've
class?
been to Rob's script
It's all
class.
conversation.
It's
all
we're not up there like literally role playing and holding a piece of paper and reading
Yeah.
something. We're just having conversations and people are saying, here's what I came across, what should I have done? What would you have said? What would you have said? So, yeah.
I look at Sam. Sam's newer on our team. He's 23 years old. 24. Sorry, you did that. I was like, you're 24, right? He's like, yeah, but I even said I was 23 the other day. He's 24 years old. I wish I'd have gotten into the business when I was
Yes.
his age,
Same.
right?
I wish I would have started a year before.
Right. Because this can be a great business, guys. You're serving people. We are not salespeople. We're in the service industry. So we get the opportunity to go out there and serve people all the time. I know we've got to wrap up. Anybody know who Mel Robbins is?
Yes.
Anybody constantly listen to Mel?
Y'all follow her on Instagram?
Yep. If not, you should.
She posted one the other day, I saved it, and it was just so great, and it was mindset, and she was just talking about, you can pick, you know, positive, negative mindset, but that positive mindset, and she used the analogy of a garden, weeds grow faster in a garden. And so change your mindset, and then we transition that into the Henry Ford quote,
Yeah, so.
whether you think you can or whether you think you can't,
Right. We've all heard that before.
It's a great one.
I told Beth, and we were talking about other things, and I said, you know, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Maybe I should be doing this, maybe I should do that. The grass is gonna be greener wherever you're watering and fertilizing. I don't care where
Goes
you
back to the farming.
100% goes back to the farming. The seeds you're planting today, 115 days out. We can take, wherever you are in your business right now, we can look 115 days back and see what you were doing. Right? And that still holds true, even in a market like we're in right now. What else did Mel say?
Oh, it was, what was awesome is, because Russell talks about this with our team all the time in terms of coming from a place of curiosity when you're having the conversations, which is ask one more question, ask one more question. So Mel actually said that as well in terms of working on your positive mindset is, what are you saying in your head? What questions are you asking in your head? And, you know, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? You know, how did I mess this up? Whatever it is. And then when you hear yourself doing that, and maybe you're coming from a negative space, ask more questions of yourself, get more curious with yourself. Well, was it that bad? Did I actually do something wrong? Could I have done something different? She went into the curiosity thing too. Everyone's going into like, just dive deeper, dig deeper.
And I told Beth on the phone this morning as we were discussing, I said, well, that's unfair. If you're only looking at it, well, wait, you've got to look at the other side and go, okay, hang on just a minute. What if it was this? Right? And then you can make a judgment call. Right? We can all get caught up in our heads. We all get down, right?
Yeah.
And we have to do those things to pull us out. And matter of fact, if you're going to a family reunion in February, she'll be there speaking at family reunion. I think she'll be fantastic. They've got a great lineup.
So have your best 2024, what are your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are that I just think there's great opportunity coming, but you have to be ready for it, right? And right now is what you need to be fine tuning to be prepared for what's coming in 2024. And everything we do, again, don't be afraid of tripping and falling, but what we do right now, okay, so maybe some of it works and maybe some of it doesn't, we can refine that. And being in a group like this certainly will help if you're able to bounce things off of each other, but just get into action. And if you are a part-time agent now looking to get into full-time later on, be the best full-time part-time agent you can be, right? So I know there's a few, I'm not sure they're in this room, but you've got to be full-time, and do not let the MLS and Zillow do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, let that just be an addition to what you do. That's mine. What are yours?
Always come from a place of wanting to learn something new, something different. Lean into each other, lean into your leadership. Have not only conversations, obviously, with your clients, but have conversations with each other. That was one of the most amazing things when we stopped doing Zoom meetings and we went back to in person. All of a sudden, all these agents were like, "Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you," and then all of a sudden, they're lingering around the office. And they're trading anecdotes, they're talking about scenarios, and someone maybe has heard it before, and now they can offer what they did when that happened, or just offer another idea, another solution. I just think leaning into that, leaning into your leadership, like Rob said, training, we're always trying to come up with ideas for more training, and that can also be listening to podcasts and signing up for different newsletters, and whatever it is, just continue to just absorb.
We do not listen to the news. I don't, nothing, I've talked about this before. We do not listen to the news. I can't tell you the last time I turned news on. Right? I think it was sometime back in the summer when we were having tornadic weather. I just wanted to hear the weather. Right? But outside of that, I do not listen to that. I make sure I plug into exactly what she says.
Well, it doesn't rain in Blue Ridge.
Wish that was true. But yeah, just plug into the things, and the asking the one more question, Jim, is so important. Like when somebody says, well, why are you moving to East Cobb for the school? Oh, I mean, we've got great schools in East Cobb. Why are the schools important to you? Oh, because. Oh, great. You just keep asking, and all of a sudden you'll uncover a lot more information. What else, Jimmy?
Anybody else want to weigh in on how you're going to get your next year? Anybody else? Angela, what do you think? I was gonna ask you, smell like it.
Call support immediately.
So what I think
Please do not
is,
attempt to shut
I know
down or
we've talked
restart your
about
computer.
going back to
Doing
the
that may lead
basics.
to data loss and identity
And I
theft.
joined this business in
The computer lock
2018.
came to stop illegal activity.
Call our support. They wanted to tell us how they're 24.
Important security message. Your computer has been locked up.
Uh-oh.
Your IP address was used without your knowledge or consent to visit.
Knock it down.
There we go. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I joined in 2018 and went full-time at the end of 2019, and then COVID happened, and so I never learned the basics. And in August, I came to this office because I realized that I needed to know what those basics are. And when you said look back 115 days, I joined on August 8th, and I just had my first closing with the office on November 30th, which is almost having conversations, coming from a place of curiosity and a genuine heart of service is all that I feel like we're going to need in 2024, as well as the education that we receive here every day.
Yeah, 100%. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I always say if you're asking something from someone, also give. Right? Also give. So come from a place of contribution too. That's awesome.
That's how most offices are dead today. There's nobody in the office. There's nobody participating. They're getting ready for the holiday season. And this office, look at this turnout today, guys. I mean, so number one, I want to thank Paige Morgan publicly because she's the one that made the room downstairs happen. So I want to call it the Paige Morgan room. the next sponsorship, and I'll sponsor Nick for the next 2 weeks, or next month, how about that? I'll do the next week.
Speak up for this, it's been put on the office bill.
I big off the bill. But I also want to thank the Riverbeck team for coming and bringing all their people with them. Isn't that amazing? Team, stand up, please.
Where is Guna? Where's Guna?
These are our awesome
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
So,
he's
guys,
in the back office.
if you make 30 phone calls a day, will your business be better?
Yes.
Yes.
There's the answer right there. 30 phone calls a day. Make it a joy day. Thank you all so very much. See you all next week.